start recording. Yay! There we go, we're recording. Lovely. Cool. Thank you very much. So, I'm just going to reiterate what I did before the recording. So what I did is I made sure I saved my original scene that we created last week, which I will create a video for as well, but I'll just do that separately, like I used to do. And then with this one, I went up to, I think I went File, New Scene. This then gave me a blank template. I then renamed that scene to Portal Ripoff because we're essentially creating a Portal Ripoff today, and just went to File and Save As. Okay, cool. So first things first is creating our little Portal Ripoff. So I'm going to go to Game Object and just create a plane. Lovely. Zoom out a bit because that'll be the size. I'm going to call this floor as well. This is scaled at 1 by 1 by 1. I'm just going to do 5 on the X and 5 on the Z. So we've got a bit of space for our first person character to walk around in. So if you could do this and then add 4 walls for me. And you can just use primitives, so we can go to Game Object, 3D Object, and Cube. I don't know where my cube's gone. Oh, it's there. Lovely. Fantastic. Obviously, I'm going to try and make this as basic as possible so you can go, oh, right, this can develop into my quest system or anything like that really nice and quickly. Control D to duplicate. Fantastic. So yeah, something like that is absolutely perfect. And what I'm going to do is go to my directional light, and because I find this overly bright Unity, so I'm just going to ease it down a little bit. So there we go. You can actually see the lines and the shadows a little bit as well. And I'm going to make sure I name all of my layers. It's always good to do that. A wall and wall 1 and wall 2. So you know what they are. I'm then going to create an empty object, call that environment, and put all of my floors and my walls parenting into there, into environment. And we can make that static as well, so it's not going to move. Lovely. You can put them into an empty object. It just cleans everything up. Can you see where I put environment? This is just an empty object. And then if I got my drop down, my floor, my wall, and my 3 other walls in here, they're all static as well, so they're not going to be heavy on when we run our game. Should just be nice and light. And obviously, if you're ahead of the game, what we're going to do is then you can put your FPS controller in there. There we go. Click. Lovely. Oh, crikey, it's tiny. almost like built a massive arena. Once you've added your FPS controller in there, what I'd like you to do is just play your game and make sure that your controller can, your player can run around within that scene, which mine can. You might be able to jump as well. Got a nice white simple scene with your controller that can walk around, run around within the scene. Lovely, fantastic. I'll give you a minute just to sort that out. Yes, ma'am. That's all right. Cool. So, we got. Oh, installed. We've got it installed. Yeah, no, I don't know why. So you have to actually. Very, very just, I was just checking every time. So can you just see what I've done there? Creating the plane four cubes. They're like water. So it looks like. And what you'll need to do is, Alex can help you, is download the standard assets once you get onto Unity. And we're going to download that FPS controller so we can walk around. Obviously, if you wanted to want this level to make it look like your, so I can see what Captain's doing here, make it look like he's maybe equal level, by all means, I will let you give you some time to do that as everyone catches up. You can put some things in it, lanterns, lighting in it, do not mind at all. I'm sticking with the portal rip-off, but you can add some aesthetics into it if you so please. So I think I have taught everybody this. Do you remember when I taught the space door? Yeah. This is quite similar to that. I'm mixing bits of that, but this time it's essentially with a button. Yes, it is from the press. Yeah, it's like the pressure pad as well. So yeah, I'm kind of mixing those two things together. So I've done that later on. So guys from a couple of years ago won't know the pressure pad, but we are essentially doing that. Got a quick version of it today. Looking good. As you can see, it's just a little warning at the bottom there of my console. And I've got two listeners. I'm just going to delete that main camera so we don't have that issue. And we're going to get rid of that dependency. You're not going to worry about it. Do the prettiness after. That's absolutely fine. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to create our object that we're going to be able to pick up. I'm going to make this probably, if I make this in front of my player, I'm just going to go create a cube and put that in front of my player. So there we go. So there's a nice little cube there. What that's going to be is that's going to be like my box that I can put onto my button to open my door. Okay, if you've ever played Portal. So number one, I'm going to change this cube to crate, or you can call it box, whatever you like to call it. Remember, while I'm recording and you have any questions, please just say as loud as you can, because then if someone's watching back the video and has that question in their head and then someone answers it in the video, it's a lot easier to do. So what we're going to do, once we've created our cube and called it crate, I'm not going to change the size of it simply because our first person controller is around that size. It looks pretty good as a meter by meter by meter on the X, Y, and Z. One thing I am going to do after I've renamed it to crate is I'm going to add a component. I'm going to add a rigid body to it. This will automatically apply gravity. So if I lift it up a bit and then I play my game, in my game scene it should just drop. There we go. I should even be able to probably push it along. There we go. There we go. So we've got the cube that we can sort of like move along and push. Lovely. And also we've got the mega stompy stomp again. Let's turn that down. Stompy stomp volume to 0.2. So what I'd like to do, little tiny little mini challenge is make sure your the box that we're going to pick up, we're going to do the code to pick up box or crate in a moment. I want you to make it stand out, so not the same material as you see it within this scene here. So either create a new material that's just brown, or I'll give you a couple of minutes to go onto Google, download a crate texture, crack it on there, and remember how to make textures from scratch. That would be good to see. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go to Chrome. I'm going to go. I don't even know if I'll get anything once I've been crate. Ooh, look at that. Crate texture. Yeah. Knocking it out of the park, Google. Cool, lovely. So I like the look of that. So I'm going to save as image. I'm going to put this into my folders actually. Documents, collect, assets. I've got UI, but I don't really have it. Sprites or materials or assets. I'll just go put it into UI. Rename it just a wood crate texture. Save. I think that's saved as a Shutterstock. JPEG file, lovely. Make sure it saves as a JPEG file. I'll just make that error. Yeah, and then it'll just stand out a bit. Lovely. Cool. Get rid of that. Lovely. So what I should be able to do is drag this onto my crate. Lovely. There we go. Then I've got my textured crate there. We can go into a bit more detail if we want to. If I go, again, you can watch this later in the video. If I duplicate this, what we can do is the duplicated version. I can actually change it to a normal map. Click apply. And then on the material itself, the crate, you can come down to this material and it will ask for a normal map. I'm going to drag that normal map onto there. It will create a bit of depth. As you can see, you've got more depth behind it now. A bit of shininess to it. It's annoying, but it's definitely got that depth in there. It's like 3. I'll do 5. Yeah, that looks nice. And hopefully, just play my game. There we go. I have my crate. Easy as that.
Sorry, can you say that again? Sorry, I was helping out.
That's okay. So, all I'd like you to do is, I went onto Google Chrome, I just downloaded the wooden texture, I just want it to look different. Your crate to look different. What you can do is, as long as it says it's default and it's a 2D shaped texture, you can click and drag that straight on to your crate. And if you want to edit the way the texture looks, what we can do is, if we go to the crate itself, where we put the texture onto it, we can edit the tiling. So here my tiling is 1 by 1, and that fits perfectly, but if yours doesn't, we can go to tiling and go to the X, and can you see we can change that tiling there? Yeah. Okay, so I can quickly have a look at that and delete that script. It's called a simple activator menu. It's just an appreciated script. That's nice. Let's have a look. And so we're looking for the GUI text. It's coming from simple activator menu. Search use something simple. Yeah. It will recompile things here, but warnings, but there you go. Cool. Warning says we're going to make a button. Okay. Lovely boxes, fantastic. Good looking crates. It's a fine looking crate. Awesome. So we're nearly finished with all the bits within our scene. What we're going to do now is create our button. So what we're going to do is zoom around a little bit. And we'll put our button all the way over here. Zoom out a little bit. Whoa, there we go. Cool. So it's massive. Cool. So what I'm going to do is, for the button, is I'm going to right click, go to 3D object, and I'm going to choose a cylinder. And what I'm going to do is make this look like a button, essentially, crack it into the ground of my floor. And also, can you rename your cylinder to button as well, so make sure we're naming everything appropriately. Lovely. There you go. So I'm making it a big old button. And then dump that into the ground. Cool, lovely. So once we've got, if you've added a material to it as well, absolutely fantastic. You've jumped ahead, that's good to see. What we can see here is once we have our cylinder, we can see that if we try and go onto this collider, we can see that the collider is in fact turned into a capsule collider. We don't need that. We need a lot more simple, what's the word I'm looking for, collider around it. So what we're going to do is, on our button, we are going to remove, so click the three buttons in the top corner of our capsule collider, we're going to remove that component. And what we're going to do, we're going to go to add component, and we're going to add a box collider. And as you can see, that's a lot more simple and also easy to manipulate. Once again, because we're going to make this box trigger a collider, I'm going to go to Edit Collider, and we're going to make sure I pull up the right part. There we go. So then I've got, as you can see there, probably the best way you can see it, my box collider is big enough for my player to walk into, and I'm also going to check his trigger. And obviously you can create that red material and add that onto your button. That's what I'm going to do now. I've seen a lot of people do that already. That's good to see. I already have materials. I have there we go. Add a new material. So create material. I'm going to call this red. Genius, I know. I'm going to make this a little bit more metallic. So it shines. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And then just add that to my button. Let's see. Cool, blimey, that's a still might. I'm seeing is so big. I might make that button a little bit bigger, and so it's a little bit more visible. And especially if we're going to drop a crate on it, we want it to be nice and big. Yes, mate.
Are we making it flat? Or are we actually making it as a cylinder?
So if you look at mine, you see that I've just left mine flat, but it's only like half of it is into the ground. Yeah. And make sure you check his trigger on that box collider that we've added for our button as well, otherwise we can't initiate or change anything. Lovely. We'll create our moving door or whatever we need to do a bit later. What we're going to do initially is get that pickup sorted for our object, or for our crate, sorry. So let's get to assets, and if you don't already, you should have a folder called scripts that you've created yourself. We've got candle collect, which is from our other session. Candle collect, the game complete UI, and the player script itself. We don't need to add anything to the player for this one, luckily. What we're going to do is we're going to right click and we're going to create a brand new C# script, and we're going to call this pickup. Lovely. And this pickup script is going to live in our crate, so we can drag pickup into our crate. And what we can also do, we can also prefab this. So if we go to prefabs, I've only got a prefab on my candle from my previous session. What I'm going to do is with my crate, I've got the rigid body on it. This doesn't need to be a trigger or anything. That's absolutely fine. What I'm going to do is drag that into my prefab folder, and that will create that as a prefab. So we can just chuck them out, just like the candles. They've got their own settings on them. We can use them again and again. So once you create more complex puzzles, we can create more. Just drag it in. Oh, see if this is a name for the 2 minutes. Making sure that it's still working. Because it's up there, but I have just said it does disappear. Error. Cool. What we're going to do is open up our pickup script. Lovely. I am going to make that bigger because even on the screen that looks teeny tiny. 200. There we go. Better. Cool. Lovely. So first thing we need to do is we're kind of doing a little bit of a cheat here, and we should really be using raycasts, but raycast is such a long thing to script that I've gone for just an easier route. I say if you were going to pick up anything actually within your full game that you are making, I wouldn't advise using this script. I would use a raycast. Okay, this is just a quick way of picking up an object. So first things first is we're going to say public transform. Oh, it's doing this again. So if it doesn't pop up straight away with your syntax, what we need to do is, I don't know why it's doing this on these computers, we need to go to edits, we need to go to, say preferences, always gets wrong, preferences, and where it says external script editor, choose Microsoft Visual Studio 2022. I don't know why it keeps disconnecting. I don't know. Wonder if it now just works automatically. It doesn't. I'm going to quickly save this script. Close Visual Studio. Cool. And then we can open up. There we go. There we go. Transform. Cool. So we're going to call this location. So essentially, what is this? Why are we creating a public transform of location? So what is transform? So if we go back into Unity, we can see that on anything, transform is either the position, rotation, or scale of our of any object, even an empty object. And essentially, location is going to be the location or destination of where, or the location we pick up our box. Okay, because at the moment our box doesn't know where it needs to go once you pick it up. Or really, if you're a first-person character and you're going to pick up a box, it's going to be like in front of your face or just below, so you can see where you're holding and putting that box. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into back into Unity, go to our first-person controller, and as you can see, got it. And as you can see, our first-person controller is facing, because where the camera is facing, it's facing at the Z axis here. So what I'm going to do is go to right click and go create empty, and I'm going to name this our location. Then what I'm going to do is, because my location is going to be a part of my first person controller that's going to be physically holding my crate, is that I'm going to parent location with my first person controller. So my location is linked to my first person controller here. once I've done that, any object that you parent to another object, if I zero this out, so if I change the position to 0, 0, 0, it will link with it. It will stick with it. It won't zero in the center of my game. It will localize itself. So it won't be world space, it will be local space. Okay? So I'll change this to, that's already at 0, just change that to 0. There we go. So what I need to do here is kind of look where my first person controller is and then look where my location is. So if I highlight those two, control, it's a bit annoying, but I can kind of press and drag this up a little bit and then drag it so it's out in front, because this is where my box is going to sit. So if I can see my first person controller is here and my location is there, I'm sort of drop that a little bit. So first person controller, location. So it is a bit of a fiddle, but we can see that might push that up a little bit more. The first person controller and location, and it's facing the Z axis as well. So that's the forward facing of both my box and my controller. So I'll definitely be able to see what I'm holding. Okay. You might have to change it. You probably will. You might get a box in your face or something. You won't be able to see where you're going. But we can change that afterwards. But at least we have a location of where our box is going to be fixed to when we pick that. Okay. Cool. Lovely. So let's go back to our script. So we now know what our location is. We can link that because it's public. It'll pop up in our inspector and we can link that afterwards. What we need to do next is actually get rid of void update and void start. We need to say goodbye to them. And what we need to do is we're going to say, oh, actually, because we've got our syntax, this will probably work nicely. We can say on mouse down. So when we click on our mouse down, that will create a method straight away. This is already imprinted or embedded into the Unity systems. Okay. So if we click down on our mouse, we will hold something or we will do something essentially. Okay. Usually we go input.get button, blah, blah, blah. You can just, this is a quicker way of doing it. Obviously with this way, there's good ways and there's opposites, positives and negatives. With this, we can't edit this. All it is going to be, we click and hold down on the mouse and that's what we get. Obviously with input, we can choose whatever button we want. So with this, we initially want to get rid of the gravity when we're holding our box. We don't want to be fighting the gravity when we're holding our box. When we let go, we want gravity to be applied again, but when we're holding the box, we want no gravity at all. Otherwise, it would just start almost like having a bit of clipping and stuff like that. So what we need to do is grab the component that lives within where this script is living. So this script is living within crate. So we're going to say get component, and that component that we want initially is the rigid body, because that holds our gravity. We then can say parentheses, then go dot, and we're going to say use gravity. Exactly. It's always, I love this, it always guesses what I'm going to say. So we're going to turn gravity off. So get component, rigid body, dot use gravity equals false. So we're going to turn off gravity. The next thing we're going to grab is we're going to go to our component again, close. So we're going to go get component, we're going to say rigid body, but we're not going to say is kinematic, where this time we are going to say dot freeze rotation, and we're going to turn that off as well. Because I found when you picked up the box rotates. So we need to stop that as well. Yeah, freeze rotation. Oh, sorry, it needs to be true. We need to freeze it, sorry. So we then need to say that this, because it's on the game object of the crate, we're going to say transform dot position, not local space. Oh, it is going to be local position. Doesn't matter what I'm doing. Weird. Yes, so we're going to say this crate, the transform position of the crate is going to go to location, which is up here.
This is definitely a new feature I wasn't
I know, yes, it's genius, isn't it? It's probably already been there, it's just been probably just back. But this is Visual Studio 2022 as well, which is amazing. And obviously, once we pick up that object, the last thing we need to do is we need to say this dot transform. Well, yeah, I was going to say it won't miss this one. Transform dot parent. We need to parent it with it because we're going to carry it. So just like we did the location, and then we can say equals G game object dot find, and then the object that it's going to find for us is obviously location. And we're going to fit it to that transform. Lovely. So essentially, that's everything that's happening when we hold our box. We're going to turn off the gravity. Yep. We're going to make sure it doesn't rotate because that would look really weird. If you're making a space game, maybe it looks cool. We're then going to say the transform of the new transform position is going to be the exact same as the locations position. And we're also going to parent it onto the locations transform, which is parented onto us, so we can carry that object to wherever we like. So we now need to let go of that transform box. Okay, so this is now going to be on mouse up. There it is. Boom. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to say this. Oh, there we go. It already knows. How genius is that? So this dot transform dot parent equals null. We're going to let go of it. Null means absolutely nothing. We then want to add the rotation back on. So we need to say get component use gravity, but we're going to say true this time. So gravity comes back. And actually in the middle there, I'm going to say get component. I'm just going to tap it out and delete it. We're going to add freeze rotation. So freeze rotation, which is now going to be equal to lovely, nice, quick, and easy. Might need to change your location. Your location might be low down. How close is it to, remember, is it in your FPS controller mode? That location, you put it out. Because it's trying to fix to the location, so it might be hitting your collider, your FPS controller.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's outside my phone. It's in my phone.
Outside.
Okay, it's definitely outside my phone.
Cool. So make sure you are writing notes for this as well. I know you can watch the video back, but it's always good to take notes as well. What we're going to do is go back into Unity. Unity, Unity. Sound like a weirdo. Cool. And now what I'm going to do is, oh, I'm not going to do that. Is first of all, I'm going to go to my crate, and my crate needs to be told where that transform is, and it's looking for location. Oh. So I need to find location and drag that into the location of my pickup script. We might be able to fix that. I'll have a look. Just play. There we go. And then I can walk that over and drop that. There we go, lovely. So I can walk up to my box, pick it up, and then I can drop that on my button. There we go, boom, door opens, lovely jubbly. Zoe looking wicked. So if it is being a bit dodgy, I would suggest moving the location, because it should. Oh, it doesn't work when you say, oh, there we go. A bit crude, and I might need to change the view, but I can drop my box. Let go, lovely. Cool, so hopefully you're thinking now, oh, I can add puzzles into, once we get this sorted, I can add puzzles into collecting those coins to complete the level. So we start building up our advanced gameplay systems. This is what we need to start doing. This is how we need to start thinking about adding or creating more complex games. Step by step. Does it all need to be added at once? You can't pick your box up. Have you added your location to the bottom? Can you see here on my pickup script? If I make these pop away. So that location is definitely there. Lovely. We've got to make sure that our location is definitely not in the realms of our collider as well. So if I just run off now, there we go. So there's my collider. And I've got to make sure this location is properly outside of there. So my location is quite far away from my FPS controller, but it does look like I'm holding it. It's quite far away. I'll have a look. Put the script, I'll leave the script up there as well, so you can have a look.
Yeah. That's what mine does. I'll get to it, by the way. That's weird. Why not on the first 10? And then ever since the one. Sure. Oh. Okay, so our player, where our player is facing this way. Our location is there. So what we need to do is 0 it now. Player. Location. Drag. All that box. You want to make sure that it's not in the realm any of this. It will push it away. There. And then that should be what we're doing. Holding the click, obviously, we should go to let go. Yeah, just keep an eye on those axes. So where's your location? Okay, so your location is right. So look at your script. Freeze is true, yeah. Freeze is false, you've got to see. Go back and Going on. Put a capital L. Your location is a lowercase L. Okay, so I'll make an object. Remember.
Remember, lowercase and uppercase, please. Say your pen. That really is not my pen.
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Leave my pens in your area. Cool, lovely. So, the next thing we want to do is make sure that we put something, or we put ourselves or the crate on the button and it changes colour. Remember, you have to let me know about break and all that stuff so I can stop recording and restart it again. So, let us create a button. I've got a button, so let's go and create a button script. So if we go to create, we're going to go to C# scripts, and we're just going to call it button. And we can add this to our button as well. What's he saying? Particle scene controls. I have no idea what you're on about. Cool. Oh, you make sure that your location is really in front of your player.
Yeah.
So it's not in the way of it at all. Oh, right. Do you get lots of errors when you type in a button? Delete that script because it's looking for a script called button. Delete button script. And what we're going to do is create a new script called pressure button. Because it's the standard asset looking for something called button. No, it's something you created. If you didn't create it, don't worry. So right click, create. Hopefully it's not looking for a script called pressure button. Pressure button. Please. Lovely. Cool. Cool. So we don't need. I need update later. We won't need it for now. So what we need to do is probably the best for this is an on trigger stay. So we've done a lot of on trigger enters last week, but we're now going to do on trigger stay because we want something to stay there to keep the door opening, for example. So we're going to say on trigger stay. Let me try that in actually. Try to let me know. Cool. So first things first. What is going to alert the button? Yeah. So what? Yeah. So what's going to make the button open the door? What's the object and yeah, that's it. So the player. YouTube recording. So it's the player and the place itself. Pardon? Yeah, it is out. So cut all this bit out and then just like all the right answers. So what we're going to say is if other dot tag, remember I always use tags. You don't have, some people don't use tags in like tutorials. Tags are quite reliable, I find. So we're looking for that player tag. Okay. We need to make sure that our player does have that tag. So let's go back into Unity, click on FPS controller. No, it's untagged. So let's give that tag of player. So what do we want to happen to our button when we go onto it? What's the first thing you would notice on that big button? Color change, well done, sorry. So that's what we're going to do first. So we're going to say get component. Again, this button is going to live on the button itself, so we can just go get component because the component of the material renderer lives on it. We can then say renderer. We are going to say parentheses material. We're then going to say dot set color. We're going to set a brand new color, and then we can say we've got to give the name of it, and then say color. So what we can say first is the underscore color. This is how you reach colors, and then we can say color dot green, and then semicolon at the end. Cool. Let's quickly test this out. Let's save this and go back into Unity. Compile. Play. So at the moment we've only set the player to set off the button. Just remember the variable that we should be able to go over to it. It doesn't work. Right. What have we done wrong? Yours worked. What is this? I didn't put the script on it. There we go. Put the script on the button. Press play. Amateur hour over here. Walk over to the button, and it should turn green. There we go. Fantastic. But, oh, fiddle, look what's happening here. It needs to go back to red. So, if you're a clever little nugget, you can guess what to type. I'll give you a couple of minutes. What do you think we should add? How can we turn that back to red? You know this, Gabs. You do, my friend. It's one of those things. Zoe, you know this as well. Alec, you know it. This, you know it. Mario, you know it. Max, you. Everyone knows it. Everyone knows it. I've done it before. If you can enter a trigger, you can also. Remember, it's the American color. Yeah. Have you just dragged in the correct FPS controller? You okay? Lovely. So, Josh, on your first day, what is that piece of script? Perfect, lovely. So on trigger, exit, fantastic, cool. So again, we're looking for other, so we can then say if oh, other dot tag is equal to our player. Well, this time we are going to change our color. So I'm going to take this and go Control C. I know I say don't copy and paste, learn coding better, but I'm going to do it fast. We're going to change this to red. Remember, if you turn something on, you have to turn it off during coding. And it needs to acknowledge that the player is gone as well. So that's why we still need the tag. Okay, so let's have a look at this. Button.
Would you everything else in favour?
Right now, we're going to go green, red, green, red, green, red, green, red, green, red. Lovely. Cool, so now we want the crate to activate that button to go green. Okay, so if you have you've got caps lock on. No, it should affect it. I have heard of this before. I'll have to have a quick look.
I'm a genius.
Okay, so just before we go off the break, Gab says he's figured it out. So what's Gab's going to tell me what to do? So what am I going to do?
Well, I created a new tag for my box.
Fantastic, good start. So what Gabs has done is gone to create, and you can see here tagged, untagged. And we've got loads of different tags, but we don't have one for create. So what he's going to do is go to add tag. Where it says tag list is empty, we're going to click plus. We're going to call it create. Capital C, uppercase, lovely. Click save. And then go back onto our create and then change that tag to create, just like that. Perfecto. Then what did you do?
Pressure button script.
Yep.
Underneath. So where you are now. So I made an else if statement.
Oh, make sure there's no else and if.
Yeah, and then other in brackets other dot tag equals box or create.
I don't know why it's done that. It's really irritating, doesn't it? So you then said if, oh no.
So else if, and then brackets.
Oh, okay, so no curly brackets. Cool, lovely.
Yeah.
Else if, other,
Dot tag.
there we go. Equals, and this time we're looking for create. Oh, make sure we've got that capital C in there.
And then you can literally just copy and paste.
Copy and paste that.
And then exactly the same thing on the configurator as well.
Beautiful, lovely. See, you it all along. I know it's annoying. I know it's frustrating.
I just forget.
Yeah, you do. The first thing you're going to forget is the coding part. Trust me. It's coding, but there we go.
And I did make my box wider a little bit smaller as well.
It does this weird thing where it's not even touching it.
Yeah. Radius.
Yeah. Okay, so to save that, the else if, make sure you create your tag. And this time what I'm going to do is go into here, press play, go up to my box, there we go, I've got to find where my button is now, over there, up. There we go, drop that in, there we go. Yep, I can.
Oh, I can.
There will be, yeah, it's this weird collider thing where you can all go green really close to it, but drop it in, green, pick it up, and as you can see, oh no, there we go. That's something with me now.
Yeah, I want to do
yeah, oh, we're good at it. You can push the box out of it and then pick it up again.
Yeah, that's what I have to do.
Cool, lovely. Go for a break and grab a coffee or something like that, and we will be back. Start recording. Cool. Give it just a minute for Jane to come back and see as well. So I'll just put the code up there just as a quick recap. There you go. I'm just going to size that as 150. See it. There we go. No, just as a recap, just make sure you've got that code. So that means our crate is now working. And remember, make sure your crate has been tagged with the appropriate tag and uppercase or lowercase spelling within Unity. Okie dokie. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to be in Unity and we're going to animate our doors. Okay, our door. Essentially, I'm going to make this as simple as possible. You can make this as complex or as simple as possible as well. I'm going to essentially make a cube that looks like a shiny door go up and down. So when it's down, it'll be red, and when it's up, it'll be green on the button. So door open, door closed. You're going to create a better system after this workshop session, so you can do it better than me. For now, I'm going to do game object, 3D objects in a cube. Push that all the way back to there. I'm going to rename this as door, so I know what I'm doing. Story. Lovely, and then I'm going to create a custom material for it as well, so it stands out from the wall. Cool, we'll give you a bit of time just to do that. As you can see, mine very simple. Just going to come around and look. Not choking the tin. Good. Oh, very cool. I like that. Oh, very cool. Probably going to make that bit open. Lovely. I like that. That's cool. Looking at some good systems already. I'll look up or down.
point this one. Just grab it from that. As long as you can push the box onto the button for now, we'll figure out the bits later. Beautiful. Beautiful. Ooh, nice. Lovely.
Okay, so hopefully you've got some kind of door and you put something together. What we're going to do, we're not going to code anything just yet. We're going to get this door opening and closing by the use of the animation and animator. So what we're going to do, if you can't remember how to get to those, we go to Window, we go to Animation, and initially we're going to go with Animation. Okay, so Window, Animation, and Animation. The TV's turned up. The TV hasn't turned up. Cool, lovely. And I'm going to tab this. I'm going to jump and just crack this right down here, so I can create an animation from here. Nice and easy. Lovely. So this will initially be grayed out until we click on an object within our hierarchy. If I click on door, then you can see to begin animating door, create an animator and an animation clip. Lovely, fantastic, will do. So what we're going to do is go to assets, and initially I'm going to go and create a new folder in here. Right click, create. Oh, actually, I might do it when I create this, it'll be easier. So if I click on create for a new animation for my door, make sure it's on door, lovely, click create, then we'll get this dialog box pop up, and this is all within my assets. New folder, call this animations, and then I'm going to save it in here. My first animation is going to be door closed. I'm going to click save. And essentially, to kick this animation off, we're going to go to Add Property, go to Transform, and go to Position. And once we've got that, I'm absolutely happy with that. That's our door closed animation done. As long as we've got keyframes, as we can see those little diamonds in our timeline, we have an animation there. That's our door closed. Okay. So the next thing we need to do is obviously that door opening. So where it says door closed, we're going to click create new clip. And this one's going to be called door open. Give you time to do that. Lovely. So this time what I'm going to do is once again go to Add Property, Transform, Position. This time though, with my first keyframe, I'm going to click on that keyframe. I'm going to click record. So that means it's live. That means so any changes I make now, that door's going to move. And I'm just going to push my door up there. Lovely. And unrecord. So my door is going to stay, as you can see, it's staying in that initial position, but then I've got another keyframe at the bottom that's its original position. I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is click on this keyframe here, backspace to delete it, click on this keyframe, Control C, go back to here, Control V, and then I've just got a constant keyframes between two constant keyframes of my door always open. And then what we'll do within the animator, we'll make sure that they go from open to closed, and they'll just animate between our transitions. There we go. Obviously, you can do so many more complex things. You've all done the, oh, actually, I think only, maybe some of you have done the advanced animation. Level 5s last year did the advanced animation where we looked at the curves and the circles and things like that can happen. Nevertheless, that's all good. We've got two. Okay, so what we've done was when we created a brand new animation, I initially went and recorded this keyframe here and moved it upwards. Okay, but then I had an old keyframe at the end because it creates two keyframes automatically. I had to get rid of that one and copy and paste it and put it at the end. So I just have this constant. So it's playing through, but it's just open because the animations won't link until I put them together in the animator. Okay. Lovely. So if you have your two animations, they're all done and dusted. What we can do is go to Window again, Animation, and this time we're going to grab the Animator. That's the one that's going to do the business. I'm again going to drag that down here. So I've got two tabs. So remember when I first taught you the door, we had so many different animations which to understand the states going in between those states. And that was really more looking at the animator. That's why I did that many. Yeah. And then so you learn how to properly utilize those states. So when we went on to the locomotion of a mixed mode character, you know that we can have lots and how they can transition between. So, but really, you could have just for that space door, we could have had two. But I will always try and make it a little bit more so to have that full understanding. Yeah. Cool, lovely. So if we click on our animator tab, we can see that our entry, so the start of our game, which is essentially entry, will be on our closed door, which is actually what we want. We've done it in order, which is absolutely beautiful. We then can create two transitions from closed door to door open and door open to door closed because we know that that's what we want. That's the process that we want. So if we right click on door closed, we can make transition and transition that to door open. And then right click on door open, make transition and create a transition to door closed. If they're the other way around, that's absolutely fine. What we need to do is right click on your door closed and click set as default layer state, or layer default state, and then that will go to door close at the start. So now we've got those true transitions, we've got our on and off essentially for our button, and we've got things that will trigger that button. What we now need to do is think about parameters. What rules do we need to set in place for that button to activate our door? So what we need to do is click over to parameters, and we've got a plus sign with our drop down arrow, and what we're going to choose is that we're going to choose a ball. Why are we going to choose a ball and not a trigger? Well done. It's going to be a true or false statement. So this will be really nice and easy, where we can say red of the button is false, green is true. Easy as that. One is open, one is closed. So we can set that, and we're going to call this is opening, because then we can say is opening true or is opening false. And when we call up these parameters are really important that we name them with definite lowercase or uppercase, because they are going to be named or stated within our script. Cool, lovely. So when our door is going to open and we click on that transition, you can see here in our inspector that we have has exit time. Well, we're not creating a character, we're creating a physical primitive object. So essentially, we need it to finish its animation. Okay, so has exit time is always going to be on for these kind of things. Otherwise, it's just going to click straight to it. So what we're going to do is, under the conditions of list is empty, we're going to click plus, and we'll automatically choose is opening and as is true. And that is true. We are going from closed to open, so is opening is going to be true. And then on the way back, are we closed? We're closing, so we're going to change is opening to false, because we're not. We're closing. Lovely. Now we have all of that in place. We just need to put some code in to get it all working together. Cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find my scripts folder. And we're going to create a new script, and we're going to call this door. Hopefully, standard assets doesn't have a problem with door. We'll find out in a second. Lovely. And obviously, we're going to put our door script onto our door game object that's in our scene. And we can open this door script up. Change my view to 200 again so you can see the script nice and clearly.
Are you recording?
I am recording. OBS in all the way. So I'm trying to speak really clearly and watch my P's and Q's. Cool, lovely. So first things first on our door script is we need to call up that animator. So if we have a look on in Unity and we now click on our door, we can see that we have an animator automatically added. As soon as you create an animation, it adds an animator. Previous versions of Unity didn't do this, and I think when I was teaching advanced animation last year, we just automatically added it first, so we knew the kind of process. Otherwise, it can be kind of ignored. I mean, when I suddenly go, "Oh, we're going to call up the animator," it's like, "Hang on, where's that coming from?" So, because it's automatically added. So that's what we're going to call up first. Then we can say private animator. And we're going to call this door anim. So that's just a short for door animation. We then need to grab the component itself. So we can say door anim, so we can use it within, what's the word I'm looking for? Use it within methods and in other scripts. So we can say equals, door anim equals, apologies, get components, there we go, animator. Thank you, tab. Lovely. So we don't need update for this. And we're going to create two custom methods. Okay. So both of these methods are going to be public because our button needs to see what's happening. Okay. So we're going to say public void, and we're going to call the first one door open. And the next one, we're going to say, again, it's going to be public void because our button script needs to see what's happening, or pressure button, apologies. And we're going to call this door close button. Okay, so once we've got these two methods, first thing that we can do, the first thing we can say is, well, what have we called our animator for? In the code, we call it door anim. So we can say door anim. And what was our parameter? But what? So we put. What was the variable? Oh, yeah, that's the variable. Yeah. So we're going to say set ball. So we need to set it because he doesn't know which way it's going, does it? So we need to say set ball, and then we do the brackets, and then we go is opening. Make sure that if yours is called is open, make sure you spell it correctly and with the correct lowercase and uppercase. And then we need to state if it's going to be true or false. So door open, well, is opening is going to be true. And you've probably already guessed it. Lovely. So now we need to get our pressure button script talking to this script. And hallelujah, hallelujah, we'll have an open door. Cool. So now we've got and this is why we've got these two methods, because our script can now, we can grab these functions and directly use these within other scripts. This is why they're in both separate functions. Okay. So if we go to pressure button, first things first is that we need to find or call up that script. Okay, within pressure button. So what we're going to do is, and we're going to call it public. And we're going to say door, and it should find door. It should go a lovely kind of bluey aqua color, so that it will find that door. And this is and we can name this door script, but it needs a variable name. It can't just be called its direct name. So we're bringing our door script into this, so we can use all the functionality, or everything that's public that's in there, we can use. So if they were private, we wouldn't be able to use them. I'm sure you probably knew that already. In our start method, we're going to say door script is going to, oh, there we go. You can tab that again, get components and door. There we go. Okay, so under where we've changed the color, once the color has changed, we want our door to open. So we're going to say door script, that should now pop up, there it is. And not set active, nice try. We're going to say dot get component. That component is then going to be the door script, so we need to get the door script again. A bit annoying, but we'll get there. And this time, once we've called up the door script, we can then say dot, and then we can call up any function. Okay, so our first function or method is going to be door, there we go, door opens, popped up for us. Bracket, bracket, semicolon. Yeah, if you know what's going to happen now, you're more than happy to finish this off. We can copy and paste this under our crate, under our else if as well. So Command Control C, sorry, Control V. And then it's going to be the same again, but door close. Under trigger exit. Oh, door closed, lovely. Up. So all we will need to do now, simple as that, is save both scripts. I'm going to go back over to my door script to make sure this is all saved as well. Jump back into Unity. So if I now look on my button script, you can see it says door script and it says none. It's looking for that door, or it's looking for the door. Okay. So what I'm going to do is instead of door, I'm going to drag my door into, there we go, ooh, there we go, into my door. So I've got my door script in there. I'll grab that component and Control S. press play. Let's initially search. So if I work, opening the door, get the door in my view. So door, we can see the animator working below, and then we can go. Oh, it didn't open. Interesting. Right. So we've got the null object somewhere. Let's have a look. On the pressure button, apparently. I have put that door script in there, so that's interesting.
What's
What's it saying?
It's just like what?
That's an compiler, isn't it? Oh no, drag it from your actual door. The door itself. Drag the door, so you're going to drag the door into the button. Yeah. Cool. So it's saying an instance of an object has not been found. Is that one as soon as I play the game? No. So it's when I hit the trigger, it's looking for something. Even turn green. Right, it turns green, that doesn't open, and then we've got a null object. Cool. No worries. So that null is coming from button. Someone in the button script. So have a quick look. Scripts. So we've got the components. It's public. Trigger stay. Else if. Open, door and close. So a null reference is referencing. If you ever get this popping up, it's that it's something that it's looking for that can't be found. Let's have a look at this. So it's looking for this, but it can't find it. Public. All scripts. Public. Maybe. I think that would affect it, but we can have a look. No, surely not. It knows where to find that. Unless the animator is not even on. Animator is definitely checked. Let's have a quick look at this animator transition, see if it will actually transition to open. Ooh, I know. That. So we're going from close to open. Not really showing me much on it. Should be. Have a look. The animations. All closed. Open. Ah. You should transition to that. Why is it not? Go for its exit time. Let's see if it's actually reading it. I'm looking at the animator, it's on green. Ah, it's not changing at all. Ah, hang on. I think I figured it out. I think it needs to be initially checked and then it's coming back. Right, let's have a look at that. I'm not in my brain. Try again. Oh, hang on. It's now on red. Okay, so it does initially work. Interesting. I think it's true. Forward cell. Well, that's just out of going not totally insane. Let's change it to public. See if this is the issue of what it can't find. It's just annoyingly it doesn't tell me. So now looking for the animator. The animator's there. Put the animator in. Line. No exception. Yeah, so it's the button, so it can't find. No. Why can't you find that? It's not working. Rename the return. No. Cool. Let's have a look at this, see if this works. Right, get the same thing. The most annoying thing about recording it live, isn't it? That work. So looking to full. So we're all getting the same thing.